This is a free workout from Yoga Fix, our 5-day gentle yoga system with strength foundations for beginners. This workout is day 1. To try the rest of the workouts for free, simply follow the link in the description below. Enjoy the workout.
Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to Body by Yoga. Welcome to your Yoga Fix. This is day 1. In this workout, we're going to be going through everything, but with a little bit more of a focus on core and spine. You're going to need 2 blocks and a strap, as well as your yoga mat for this workout. But again, if you don't have that stuff, you can make do with other things, such as a stack of books, a dog leash, or a t-shirt, or a towel. All right, let's get started. We're going to start off on your back, and we're going to move pretty slowly through this. I want you to really focus on the technique. Be careful to see that you're doing the exercises correctly. First thing we're going to do is bringing your knees toward your shoulders, lying on your back, and work on pulling your knees toward your shoulders and starting to engage your abs. And take a few deep breaths here. So as you inhale, fill up all the way from your pubic bone, just in front of your waist, all the way up through your sternum. Big breaths. And then as you exhale, squeeze out all the air, pulling your belly button toward your spine as you exhale. A couple more of those. Exhale, squeeze it all out. And one more. Exhale, squeeze out all the air, pull your belly button toward your lower back, squeeze your abs. And then from here, take it into hands to thighs. So knees over the hips, lightly press your hands into your thighs and push your thighs back into your hands. As you do this, you'll notice that the fronts of your hips, your hip flexors, and your abdominals start to work. That's what we want here. We want to build that awareness in your core and in your hips. Push a little bit harder if you want to challenge yourself. And you can play around with the positioning of your knees if you feel like this is aggravating your back at all. Again, really tighten the abs, focus on that hip flexor engagement, and that's going to get you the best result from this exercise. All right, and then go ahead and release. Plant your feet down, squeeze your heels toward your hips, squeeze your butt, and without arching your back, lift your hips off the ground. So just a little bit. Not going super high up in the air here, but just lifting up a little bit by squeezing your butt and squeezing your hamstrings. You can keep your head relaxed on the ground. Pull your heels toward your shoulders, squeeze your butt a little bit more, see if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. Again, you should be feeling this in your glutes, so your butt muscles, and in the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings. If you don't just yet, it does take a while to develop that awareness, but practicing this on a regular basis is going to help. See if you can squeeze up a little bit higher, again, using your glutes. And this is really important for your knees and your back, by the way. And then slowly release down. From here, we're going to do reverse single leg crunches or knee to chest. So I want you to bring your right leg in toward your chest, bring your left leg straight out, hover it about a foot off the ground, and then just switch back and forth. Squeezing the knee in toward the shoulder, extending that opposite leg as far as possible. And then again, just kind of switching back and forth here. And this is a really nice, gentle way to warm up your core, but also prepare your spine for pain-free exercise. If you can, bring your heel closer to the ground. That's going to be a little more challenging. But if you have back pain there, you can bring the leg up a little bit higher. Make sure you're keeping your breathing slow and controlled as you go through this. Let's go one more to each side. And then bring it back. Keep your knees over your hips. Bring your arms to the outsides. Recline twist. As you inhale, keep your shoulders on the ground, the best that you can. And then bring your legs over toward the right. Hover your knees off the ground. And now as you exhale, squeeze your core. Use your core strength to bring your knees back over your hips. Now to the left. Inhale over. Keep that right shoulder down. Exhale, squeeze back to the middle. And keep this up on your own pace. This is going to target your abs. We're also working your obliques, so the outsides of your abdominal muscles. And this is really good for getting rid of back pain. This is one exercise that I think you should be doing on a daily basis. Now you might notice that your shoulders come off the ground a little bit if you're tighter in your chest or you're tighter in your spine. And that's really normal at first. So just do your best to keep them down. If they come up a little bit, that's okay. Just make sure you're using your core to bring your legs back to the middle. One more to each side. All right, nice job. From here, we're gonna roll up into a seated position for some boat pose prep. So boat pose is really good for your hips and your core. We're gonna do a modification that's beginner friendly. So I want you to put your heels on the ground like this. Work on lifting your knees up, kind of hiking your knees up as much as possible, and then bring your hands behind your back like this, and use your hands to flatten your spine. So I want you to support your body weight here, mostly in your hips, but also with the hands, and work on straightening your back. So we're not rounding the back here, we're not rounding forward and caving in, but using the hands to straighten your spine, to aim your sternum, to aim your chest somewhat forward and up. You're also working your knees here, or working your hip flexors by lifting your knees. So you should feel the fronts of your thighs, your core, pretty much everything from your mid-thighs up through your abs working. Maybe bringing your hands to your knees if you want a bit more of a challenge. Again, work on lifting up, aim your chest up for 5 seconds. Lift your knees slightly, 3, 2, 1, and then sit up. Nice job. From here, we're moving into a seated twist. Right leg is straight out. Bring your left foot in toward your butt, and then cradle your left knee with your right elbow and kind of look over toward the left. Work on sitting up as tall as you can here. So this isn't a passive stretch. I don't want you collapsing here and just holding onto the knee. Actually push down through the hips. Use your hip muscles, use your core, and work on being active in this twist. As you inhale, get tall. As you exhale, twist deeper. One more breath here, get tall. Exhale, go a little bit deeper. All right, nice job. Switch sides. Bring the left leg out, bring your right leg in, sit up nice and tall, and then again, kind of give your right knee a hug with your left elbow. Face over toward the right now. And what's more important in this twist is getting tall and using your core and using your hips. So it's not a competition to go as deep as you possibly can into the twist. Focus on that core and hip engagement. And as you inhale, getting taller, pushing your head up, and as you exhale, twisting a little bit deeper into this. One more breath. All right, take it back to the middle. Nice job. And then from here, flip over into a tabletop position. We're gonna practice some child's pose. Hands under your shoulders, knees go wide, big toes touch. And then from here, pull your belly button up into your lower back. So that doesn't mean suck in your stomach. It means engage your core, tighten the abs. And then slowly shift your butt back toward your heels. As much as it's comfortable, you might have some knee tightness here if you're new to this. So just be wary of that. And then from here, walk your arms out in front of you, just like you would for, you'll eventually learn this, but for a down dog. Hands about shoulder width distant, index fingers facing straight up or slightly out, and pressing down into your palms. Arms are locked out here, so we're active in the arms. And then hug your arms toward one another, and go ahead and relax your head down on the mat. So our goal here is to make a straight line with the back, but you might notice that your back is rounding at first. If you're tighter through your shoulders or you have posture issues, then your head might be off the ground. You can use a block in this position, so rest your head on a block if you'd like. And you can even use 2 blocks here for your arms if that feels better too. So you do have some modifications here to make this more friendly. All right, from here, let's move on into a standing position. Go ahead and take those blocks to the top of the mat and actually grab one of the blocks and put it between your thighs. We're gonna practice mountain pose with proper hip and pelvic alignment. So block goes between your legs. Insides of your feet are parallel to one another. Push down through your feet, knees facing straight forward. Push down through the heels in particular, and then I want you to notice whether or not your hips are directly above the heels. Most people tend to lean forward like this and put the weight in the toes. So I want you to lean back, reach your tailbone down just a tiny bit, just so we're kind of lengthening the lower back, not tucking your butt under your waist, but just a little bit of a reach down with your tailbone to create some space in your lumbar spine in the low back. And then push down through your feet, bring the shoulders up, back, and down. Squeeze that block between the thighs, and then turn your palms to face forward. Pull your chin in toward your throat, and then relax your chin down. This is mountain pose, and this is basically practicing perfect posture. So if you ever want to work on posture, come back to mountain pose. Take a couple breaths here, get used to this. Continue to push down through your feet. Continue to squeeze your thighs. All right, great job. Go ahead and grab your strap. Keep the block there. Ooh. And then hold the strap overhead at about shoulder width distant. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see this. So I want you to turn the toes to face straight forward. Make sure the insides of your feet are still parallel. And then squeeze the strap up directly overhead. As you inhale, get tall, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, lean into a side bend. So I want you to continue to squeeze the strap, pull it in opposite directions. As you inhale, push the top of your head up. As you exhale, kind of lean a little bit more toward the right. But we're staying tall here. I don't want you to collapse into the right side. Don't turn your left shoulder to face down. Keep your torso facing out. And then bring it back to the middle. Go ahead and switch sides, reaching over to the left. Continuing to push down through your feet, squeezing your thighs, keeping your core and your hips active. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, lean a little bit more toward your left. You're going to feel stretching in the entire right side of your body, and your core and your hips are going to be working as well. Bring it back to the middle into a standing back bend. So I want you to push down through your feet. Focus on bending from the mid-back up, so keep your butt under your torso, and then squeeze your arms back as far as possible. Look just slightly up. Even this is a back bend, so no matter how shallow it is, this is a back bend. So again, the arms are squeezing back, the top of your head is lifting away from your shoulders, and we're squeezing the thighs to help protect the spine. Make sure that your butt isn't coming up behind you. Make sure you're not arching the back, but again, kind of reaching the tailbone down, lengthening the lower back, and squeezing the block between your thighs. One more breath here. And then go ahead and release. All right, nice job. We're going to practice some balancing here. Go ahead and take the block out. Stand on your right foot. Push down through your right heel, and then lift your left knee up to hip level. So just bringing that left knee up into a one-leg balance. If you feel like you're falling over, just put the foot back down. So do your best here. If you need to, you can also just hover the foot off the ground. That way, if you start to lose your balance, it's a little less precarious. And as you get more comfortable with this, as you build your balance, maybe bringing that knee up to hip level. But this is a very foundational balance exercise. It's strengthening your hip flexors, strengthening your hips, your thighs. We're also working on core strength here. So this is a great one to do to practice your balance. And then go ahead and release that foot down. Let's go to the other side. So standing on your left foot, come up onto your right toes, drive down through your left hip, and then slowly lift that right knee off the ground. And if you notice that your right foot comes down to the ground and your body leans toward the right, that means that you need to strengthen your outer hips. So you'll want to focus on that bridge pose that we did at the beginning of the workout to help with that. Again, driving down through the foot, staying active through your legs, and squeezing that right knee up. So you should feel the front of your right hip working. Those are your hip flexors, really important for your back and for your knees. One more breath here. And then release. All right, we've got one more little sequence here. This is called a warrior two. I want you to start from a wide stance position, like this. Turn your toes slightly in, and then turn your right foot so that it's facing the top of the mat. Bring a block inside your right foot. From here, lead with your hips. Sink your hips toward your right foot. Knee tracks over the middle toes. So you can see my knee isn't coming in like this. It's tracking over the middle toes, driving down through the right foot. Hips are under my shoulders, and my butt is under my body. It's not way out behind me like this. It's under my body. Arms come out, and then look straight over your middle finger. You're gonna feel a lot of stretching through your groin here. You're gonna feel both thighs and your glutes working, and your abs should be working too. Take a couple of breaths here. Relax the shoulders. And then from here into a triangle pose. Without changing your legs, bring the block inside your right foot. Rest your right hand on that block. Shift your right hip into your left hip until you feel a stretch in the inner right thigh. And then roll back that left shoulder and extend your left arm up. As you inhale, lengthen the top of your head away from your hips. And as you exhale, see if you can increase that stretch in your inner thigh. 2 more breaths here. Again, targeting that inner thigh, but also strengthening the hips. So squeeze your legs toward one another as you're doing this. And then go ahead and release into the warrior 2. Straighten the right leg, move your block out of the way, turn your right foot in, and we're gonna switch sides. So left foot turns out now. Bend into your left knee, knee tracking over the middle toe. You can place that block inside your left foot now. Hips and shoulders are still facing to the outside, so I'm not turning to face forward. My hips and shoulders are facing out. Squeeze your legs toward one another. So my right leg and my left leg squeeze toward one another. My inner thighs are actually working here. And then bring your arms out in opposite directions. As you inhale, maintain. And then as you exhale, sink deeper into this. Couple breaths here. This should be challenging for your hips. So your hips should be working and your groin should be stretching. If you don't feel that, bring your legs further forward. Make sure that your butt is under your torso. Or maybe you need to bring your legs further back, closer together, to make sure you have proper technique. All right, now into triangle. Lower your left hand to that block. Keep your right arm up. Shift your left hip into your right hip, rolling back that right shoulder, and then extend the right arm up. Again, targeting the inner thigh from your groin down toward the knee. Now, you might not need to go that deep into this. You may only have to straighten this an inch or two to feel the stretch. And the goal with these postures and yoga in general isn't to just copy what somebody else is doing, but to do the stretch in a way, in whatever depth is required, to get the stretch and to get the strengthening for you. So don't just lock out your leg, just bend until you feel that stretch and hold there. And then go ahead and release into warrior 2. Stand back up, bring your feet together, and give yourself a pat on the back. You just finished day 1 of Yoga Fix. So I hope you had a lot of fun in that workout. Again, this was full body. We did some hip work, we did some shoulder work, a lot of core and spine work. So I hope you had fun, hope you learned something, and I hope you're gonna come back for day 2 and continue to do this program consistently. Remember, you might feel better now, your back might be feeling good, but if you stop doing yoga, if you stop doing this kind of stuff, that pain, that posture issue, it's all going to come back. So be consistent with these workouts. Continue to show up to the mat. Continue to do these workouts. Thanks for joining me again, and I'll see you on the next one.